Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm so happy you could join us today. Well, my name is Dr. Cheryl Reifer. I'm a registered dietitian, the PhD in Health Studies. I'm our Director of Scientific Affairs for Coral Club in North America. And today I'm very excited to speak with you about Calci-Prime, our latest supplement for bone health, and in the new blend of vitamins and minerals that we have and some of the patented ingredients. So this is great information to have, and I'll tell you all about the benefits of these vitamins and also these patented ingredients and why they're so important to us. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen and my PowerPoint presentation with you all. Okay. So here we go. So Calci-Prime, again, your inner pillar of support. We say that because bone health is so very important, right? We all know that we want to have good bones, that we want to try to prevent osteoporosis and, bone health. We want to be able to exercise and not have issues. It's just very important to have this support. Okay, so each of us has our own lifestyle, special interests, needs, and habits, right? Some people are on the move, relying on coffee to get going, to get their eyes open in the morning, and regular exercise to keep them going. Well, calcium is one of those things. If you have a lot of caffeine, it does take away from the calcium. It makes more calcium get excreted in your urine. So you just have to watch how much you drink of that. Also, salty foods, like teenagers that hang out with their friends and drink salty French fries and pizza and things that have a lot of salt content. Salt is another mineral that if you get excess of it, also gets depleted in your urine, the calcium. So vegans do not have dairy products. Dairy products are one of the strongest dietary sources of calcium. So it's very important to look for other sources, like supplement, of course. Even though there are vegetables and some plant sources of calcium, but they can have oxalates and phytates. Those are things in plants that are present that decrease some of the calcium absorption. So we do want to have a variety of ways that we can get more calcium and the right vitamins and minerals in our diet. When we talk about gaining life experience and our bodies changing as we age, we tend to lose some calcium from our bones. And especially if we're not eating a diet rich in calcium or taking supplements to help. If you stay indoors, you need at least 15 minutes of direct sunlight to be able to get enough vitamin D. And if you're sometimes dark pigmented skin, you can't absorb as much ultraviolet rays. Or also if you tend to cover, your skin with clothing when you're going outdoors and you're not getting the vitamin D exposure. So those are other reasons that we need to be concerned. We need vitamin D and calcium. Vitamin D helps you absorb more calcium. And calcium is a worldwide deficiency issue. 3.5 billion are at risk of calcium deficiency. And I was looking at some other stats as well on this. 30% of adult males and 6% of adult females in the US do not get enough calcium. And this is according to the US Dietary Guidelines 2020 to 2025. Even in European countries, the intake can, it's recommended to be 700 milligrams a day, greater than that. And sometimes we're getting in 400 to 500 milligrams a day. So this is from the International Osteoporosis Foundation. Iceland's doing great. They're getting 1,233 milligrams a day. So, but it's just very important to get in enough. If you don't have enough calcium intake, it decreases your bone density. And menopause also is one of the things that lowers hormones levels that affects our calcium absorption. So a lot of reasons that we need to have enough calcium. So when you have calcium deficiency, you can have brittle bones and risk of fractures. That's why you hear about elderly a lot. They tend to have less calcium in their diets, and also they're not absorbing as much because of age and tend to get more brittle bones, and you hear more about fractures in that age group. But did you know that your body will pool the calcium it needs from your bones, from your teeth, to get it into the blood to circulate as your body needs it? And when that happens, it could cause tooth decay and gum disease. And calcium plays an important part in things like circulation and movement and even heart health. So when you don't get enough calcium, you could have cramps and tingling in the hands and feet and the arrhythmia, because again, calcium does play a role in that as well. impaired memory or brain fog, and feeling fatigue. Actually, vitamin D also, you can feel fatigued if you don't get enough. So it's so important. So again, we need adequate calcium in the blood to keep rejoining it out of the bones. So worsening PMS symptoms in women. I saw a study that was talking about women that when they didn't get enough calcium because of the estrogen tends to decrease, and it causes more changes in mood, more negative mood changes. So, so you definitely want to get enough calcium during this time period. So your body loses some calcium normally each day. So again, one way to get calcium in the diet is, of course, through food. But we were talking earlier about how you need quite a bit of it from vegetables. And I did some conversions for you. There's about 30 grams in an ounce. So if you round that way, there's also 30 mils in an ounce when you're doing fluid. So if you have roughly 3.5 cups of milk, that's a fairly good source of calcium, 830 milliliters. Whereas like something like broccoli, you need like 2 pounds of it, roughly 900 grams to get that amount of calcium. So in Parmesan cheese, you need quite a bit. 3 ounces is a lot. Granola is not a very good source of calcium either. You need quite a bit, like almost 2.5 pounds to get enough calcium. Now you might find occasionally a cereal that's fortified with calcium, where you can get the calcium that you need. But generally, again, you only absorb a certain amount of calcium from food, and from the plants, you have the phytates and oxalates, and you don't absorb as much because that interferes with that. So 30% of calcium is absorbed from food, but you need more if you eat a lot of salt, because salt depletes calcium into your urine. Alcohol and caffeine also do that. Actually, alcohol also depletes you of vitamins B and C. If you have a vitamin D3 deficiency, since vitamin D helps you absorb calcium, if you don't get enough vitamin D in your diet, you're going to have a problem getting enough calcium. Physical activity does build the bone density, so it's good to exercise. Again, women going through menopause need more calcium. Children or teenagers, because they're experiencing growth. So bone density decreases, with age and with different things like this too. Long-term stress, well, we have cortisol, which is a stress hormone. When it's released, it causes a decrease in calcium. So if you're just experiencing like a chronic stress, you can need more calcium in your diet. So again, when your calcium is low, your body will tap into calcium reserves from bones and teeth. So bone tissue constantly regenerates, but your body has to get calcium from somewhere. So it will take it from your bones and teeth to get enough. And when that happens, it's called calcium leaching. And you can develop osteoporosis because you're taking calcium out of the bones. So your bones are getting less dense and more brittle. So they can tend to develop osteoporosis and be more brittle and prone to breakage. So you don't want that to happen. So you do want to make sure you're getting enough calcium and even all the minerals and vitamins that help you absorb enough calcium. So since we recognize the importance of calcium, we developed Calci-Prime, right? A modern product that incorporates the latest calcium absorption research. And the reason I like to say this about the calcium absorption research is the 2 wonderful patented ingredients that I'll be talking about shortly on the Aquamin and the Min K7. So that's coming up in a few slides here. So, again, in this product, we have 5 minerals and 2 vitamins, and we have vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. Sorry, K1 helps with blood clotting, but K2 is the one is from our gut. The vitamin K that we develop helps us absorb more calcium. So we want the K2 form, and then the vitamin D3 form, which is what you get from sunlight. The D2 is from plants, foods, and mushrooms that are exposed to sunlight. The D3 is better absorbed. So that's the form that we have. And we also have other minerals that I'll be mentioning in the upcoming slide that are going with the 2 vitamins. Let's see. So again, Calci-Prime. So what isn't Calci-Prime? So here's basically everything in it. It's 4 capsules, the same doses we've had in our other calcium supplements. So you have calcium for Aquamin is a trademarked ingredient. This is a form of red algae. I'll be talking about how that's just so highly absorbed with 25 studies. And there's also magnesium in that very rich source. And magnesium from not only the Aquamin, but from also the magnesium citrate. So great, because you need all that for bone health. You need zinc, manganese, silicon, and boron. So those are the minerals: calcium, magnesium for Aquaman, magnesium citrate, zinc, manganese, silicon, and boron. And the vitamins are vitamin D3, and vitamin K2. And all these work synergistically together to help calcium absorption. And they've been studied in the amounts to help, with the best calcium absorption. So Aquaman, again, it's unique, a bioavailable mineral source. It's from red marine algae. It's also called lithothamnium, and it helps bone, joint, and digestive health. So it's been studied as with all the 25 studies. They looked at synovial fluid and how it helps increase the synovial fluid around the joints, which helps cushion the joints. Indigestion helps with more healthy digestion, and it's also helping with bone health. So you get a lot of benefits from this source, the Aquaman TM. So the reason we really like this one, calcium is from the northern Atlantic Ocean. So it grows in cold, eco-friendly waters near Iceland and near Ireland. So the algae accumulate calcium, magnesium, and other minerals. I believe 74 minerals or so that are accumulated. So this is awesome. So you're getting all these minerals, right? We like those kind of products, right? When you think about coral mine, that's also a rich source of magnesium and other minerals that we drink in our water, in our coral mine, in our water. So we love these eco-friendly developed products like this. So this one's from the red algae, and it's done in a way where the ocean ecology is unharmed. The litholamine plates are carefully collected and turned to the Aquaman powder. So the powder and the richness of that in our supplement is the source of calcium that we're using here. So 25 studies and 2 double-blind trials. We know that for these studies, it supports bone mineral density. Because we can say this because we do have specific studies that talk about osteoarthritis. We can mention which study, lowers cholesterol level in postmenopausal women. You can say these type of things if you have a study that supports it. Say we have some evidence that does support saying these statements. Generally, statements aren't evaluated by the FDA, and products aren't to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent. But when you study the efficacy and how well a supplement works, you have to test in a population where you can, see the effect. So again, it's a multi-mineral. Aquaman comes from the cytoskeleton of the red algae. Over the plant's life, the minerals are accumulated from the seaweed. I had to read about this. I thought it was very interesting, and stored as the carbonate salts in the plant. That's why you have 74 components to this. So because this has superior bioavailability, and improves bone health profile in postmenopausal women. In 2016, Aquaman was the ingredient of the year for healthy aging. It was the NutriGredients Award ingredient. So another exciting bit about Aquaman. So we know that calcium isn't absorbed by itself. You need other minerals. We were talking about why we have these other minerals. Again, you have magnesium and silicon, zinc, manganese, and calcium, besides the vitamin D3 and vitamin K2. We have MK7 we're going to be talking about as well in a minute, and why we use that form. But anyhow, all these work synergistically to help you absorb the best calcium, to help with your bone health. 30% of zinc is found in the bone tissue, 60% of magnesium is found in the bone tissue, and we have 2 forms of magnesium right in the Aquaman. So this is all very important to put all these together for bone health. And sunny vitamin D3, we're talking about 15 minutes a day of sunlight really helps you with the vitamin D, with the calcium absorption. So you want to help the intestinal calcium absorption, and you want to have more calcium accumulating in the bones because that helps the bone health. You want to support healthy bones, teeth, and muscles. So you want to take calcium with vitamin D3. So that's very important. And we know that boron may have an effect on calcium metabolism and bone formation. So each mineral and vitamin, plays a role in bone health. So MENA Q7, you might hear MKQ7. There's also an MK4, but MENA Q7 is another patented ingredient that has 20 clinical trials that has been found to promote timely bone renewal, and it helps participate in the blood clotting process. So it is a form of vitamin K2. It is effective on absorption. It's more effective than the MK4 for a longer period of time. So that's one reason that we want to see the MK7 or the MetaQ7 format. It's also vegan friendly, certified kosher and halal, free from allergens, pesticide, toxins, GMP, CGMP, all those things that we like to look for. So it stays 72 hours in the body, the MK7, whereas the MK4 does not do that. So that's the form that we want to have. And it does, again, help with timely bone renewal. Okay, so we know that magnesium and boron support bone muscle function, right? Crucial for contracting and relaxing the muscles. Magnesium has so many functions in the body that have to do with nerve impulses as well. We've known that for a while, but both magnesium and boron help bone tissue calcium absorption and increased hardness. And I think I talked a little bit about boron already. Boron may be important to bone growth and formation as well. Magnesium is essential for the absorption and metabolism of vitamin D and calcium. So everything plays a role working synergistically. Okay, we have manganese, silicon, and zinc as well. We need manganese for proper new cartilage tissue formation and synovial, fluid synthesis. We need silicon for bone and joints, and we need zinc for mineral metabolism and collagen. So all these help with the bone elasticity. Silicon may help increase bone density and improve bone strength.
I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Could you please say that again?
With that background, sorry about the background noise. Manganese deficiency may impair bone formation, reduce bone mineral density. So these are just very important to get enough of those minerals. So if you take Calci-Prime, 2 capsules twice a day with a meal, and you exercise also helps build bone density, then that's our recommended intake. So Calci-Prime helps strengthen bones and teeth. It provides nutrients to help enhance their mineral density. It helps maintain healthy joints and muscle function and support vascular elasticity. That will help blood flow more easily and not have rigidity when you have that vascular elasticity. And you want your joints to move, freely. You don't want to have them rubbing together. So you want to have enough synovial fluid. And we know that, again, like Aquaman helps with that, for example. Muscle function, we talked about calcium and magnesium playing an important role. And we know that we need our bones and teeth to be strong, and that when we don't have enough calcium, that it will leach out from our bones and teeth and cause other diseases and issues. So Calci-Prime will help strengthen our bones and teeth on top of also our, maintaining the calcium that we need to have good bone density that we need. So there are different groups that have an increased need for calcium, and athletes that have high physical demands, right? Elderly individuals and menopausal women, again, with menopause, and you have less estrogen in your body and you tend to lose more calcium, and it can create problems with mood and fluid retention. So having enough of these minerals all working well together helps with that. Elderly individuals are more prone to brittle bones. We don't want that. If you're vegan, you may not be getting enough dietary sources of calcium, especially. And I was reading about smoking. I want to give you specific reasons why smoking decreased calcium. Nicotine actually slows production of bone-producing cells. Nicotine actually slows that down. So I've also read that smokers are 30 to 40% more likely to have a hip issue as they get older, like a brittle bone issue. And smoking reduces the blood supply to the bones and many other tissues. So because of that, it decreases the body's absorption of calcium. So I thought I'd throw that in. And if you have carbonated drinks and salt on top of that, it also takes away from the calcium in the bone, and you don't want to lose calcium. If you're lactose intolerant and you're not having certain dairy products, maybe you're not getting enough calcium, or if you're underweight or not doing, weight-bearing exercises, things to help build bone density, you might be at increased risk. Chronic stress, again, you release cortisol. It's a stress hormone. It also depletes your body of calcium, causing more urinary calcium to happen. So what are some of the features? Well, we know we have the Aquaman, the award-winning ingredient in 2016, right? NutriIngredient Awards. So that's our calcium source, and also gives us some magnesium. And don't forget with vitamin K3, the K7 form, the MK7 form that we also have, that's superior bioavailability. And synergistic vitamins and minerals. We picked vitamins and minerals for enhanced calcium absorption that work well together, right? We talked about vitamin K2, vitamin D3, We talked about magnesium, zinc, manganese, boron, silica. So all those working together synergistically to help with the best calcium absorption and bone health. So right now, the bonus points on this are 19. Our club price for Calci-Prime is $30, and our retail price is $37.50. So get it today. It's a great value. And I will probably go into a lot of detail in this to try to get your head around what is all the differences in our products between Calci-Prime, MagaCal, and calcium magnesium. And each one is 4 capsules. Especially calcium, it usually takes up more room in a capsule, by the way. But we know we only need 550 milligrams of Aquamin. When they did the studies, that was the dose needed that showed efficacy, that showed that it had effective results. So it's not only well absorbed, but you also don't need as much of that ingredient as you might some of the others. So that's a real plus for calcium. On the magnesium side, again, we get from the also a vegan source, or the red algae. You get 160 milligrams of Aquamin, which gives you magnesium and magnesium citrate both. So you get it from 2 forms that are just more highly absorbed. Zinc, we know that zinc plays some role in bone health and absorption. So to include zinc now, and manganese, magnesium, both important in bone health. Silicon and boron, they know that if you have a low amount of boron, that you might have some calcium absorption issues. So, so we just need enough of that mineral. Vitamin D3 also very important. And then vitamin K2 is coming from our patented source, in the K7, the MK7 form. And then that last one is supposed to be chromium, actually. Chromium iron, again, the other combinations above that are more effective. So the most effective vitamin mineral combination, the calcium, magnesium, zinc, manganese, silicon, boron, vitamin D3, and vitamin K2 is what we're really looking at here for Calci-Prime. Okay, and other advantages, just to recap that real quick, we have calcium from patented Aquamin. It has proven efficacy, many studies, 25 studies. Again, award-winning ingredient because of all the studies that were done in the effectiveness. Magnesium from 2 sources, the organic magnesium citrate and the proprietary ingredient Aquamin. So from both of those sources. And you have vitamins D3, K2, zinc, silicon, and boron. All those together work together to help improve your bone mineral metabolism. Okay, and then advantages over calcium, magnesium, you get just more calcium and magnesium. You also have the added zinc and manganese, and it lasts for 30 days instead of 22. So also it compensates for the potential lower bioavailability of calcium from inorganic carbonate compared to citrate. It's just a better absorbed source for the minerals in these formats. And it also using 2 patented ingredients that have been studied and proven to help calcium levels and help bone density, and help even in times of menopause and other studies that have been conducted. So again, calcium is our inner pillar of support. That you definitely want to have that as part of your daily supply of what you take. I think to help with your overall bone health, especially as we age, and we tend to lose some of the calcium as we age, and we're more prone to brittle bones when we don't exercise, when we eat a high salt diet, when we alcohol, smoking, all the things that can deplete our bodies of calcium and force us to take the calcium from our bones or our teeth to be able to get it into the blood for use by the body. So, and we want to prevent osteoporosis, especially as we get older. And so calcium, Calci-Prime, along with the nutrients that are in it, the vitamin mineral combinations that we've selected for you, with patented ingredients that have been well studied, will help do that for everyone. And we have different sources and references that we use. They're not even all in here, but we looked at quite a few studies, and also we have lists from the vendors of more studies. So there's definitely a lot of information available. We have links of how you can read up on these studies if you would like. Let me go ahead and stop sharing. Here we go. So I know that's a lot of information. The best takeaway I can say is just know that this is a supplement for bone health, that it has about 5 minerals and 2 vitamins that are designed in a combination for the best bioavailability, users like bioavailability, best absorption. Because if you're taking supplements like the over-the-counter ones in the store, just a basic calcium supplement, how much is getting absorbed? It's not how much is in it if you're not absorbing enough of it, or if it's not a form that you can absorb it and your body can use it. So it's very important to have the vitamin D to help the calcium absorption, to have the other minerals that support the calcium absorption that we're including here, the magnesium, zinc, manganese, boron, and silica, and to have vitamin D in the D3 form, cholecalciferol, and vitamin K2 is a menaquinone 7, I call it MK7. It also has better absorption, and the Aquaman form of calcium, also appropriate for vegetarians, coming from, again, the source of red algae, and and this is definitely going to be a plus for not limiting those who are vegan or might not have a diet where they get enough calcium to have this option. So anyhow, so we would definitely recommend getting some today. And we appreciate you spending time with us today and letting us tell you all about Calci-Prime. And I think that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, you can contact customer service department and let us know. And we're happy to answer any questions that you have or help with more information. Thank you, everybody.